In Sudan, at least 9 people are reported to have been killed in the capital, Khartoum, as the army moved in to break in a sit-in outside its headquarters. Thousands have been protesting there for weeks, calling on generals to hand over power to a transitional government. In April, the military overthrew President Omar al-Bashir after mass protests against his 30-year rule. Joining me now is DW reporter Nader Al-Saras, who's following this story for us. Nader, the situation appears to be very volatile in Khartoum. Why has the army decided to move in at this point?
I think the army was thinking that the sit-in will end after 2 months now. It has been there from April 6th. And they were waiting for people just to, get bored and lose interest in staying there. 2 months haven't brought anything new. And also because we have now the fasting month of Ramadan, and the military council thought, in Ramadan it will be too difficult for people to stay there. It's too hot and people cannot drink and eat. So they would lose interest and go home. On the other hand, the military council has been visiting also regional countries and regional powers like UAE, the Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia and Egypt, and has been getting support from these countries. So I think the military council has now kind of a signal that it can proceed with dispersing the sit-in and executing its own politics there.
But negotiations have been going for several weeks between the military and the leaders of the protesters. What is the main sticking point there? Why can't they seem to come to an agreement that would work for both sides?
Basically, it was broken. The negotiations stalled because the formation of the council that should be kind of presidential council between civilians and soldiers, it was not agreed upon. The soldiers, or the military council, wants more soldiers in that council, and the SPA, the Association of Sudanese professionals, wanted more civilians in that council because the protesters were demanding a civilian-led council. So this is the main sticking point, and they didn't come to an agreement.
Do you see this as a turning point in this whole protest movement? Because the protests have widened. You have government workers also going on protests. You have women marching onto the headquarters of the army. Is this a point of no return now?
It seems that things are turning into a kind of more bloody and confrontational course. Many voices of the opposition and the protesters were saying we don't want even to negotiate with the military council. So until now, we have been seeing kind of a cooperation between the two entities. Now, some people from the opposition are saying the military council is not even legitimate. We don't want to negotiate with it. So yes, it is a turning point. And if this doesn't get contained soon, it can be or turn in a very bloody situation.
Absolutely. A complete breakdown of trust. Nader Al-Saras, from our reporter who's monitoring that story. Thank you very much for your assessment.